Hey everybody, I'm going to show you some of the troubleshooting steps that I've taken on this radio after I tried the initial power up. There's going to be a part two because I haven't gotten the radio working yet, but I'm close. But I just want to share some of the things that I've done for those of you that have never really troubleshot a radio before. So enjoy. There's a lot of stuff in here. All right, this is going to be much longer than a normal video for me. All right, see you guys in the next episode. Well, hello there folks, welcome to episode 9. This is the big show today. So today we're going to do our first initial power up. So first thing I want to show you is that I've got all the tubes installed. Okay, so there's my 47s. One is a blue Arcturus, the other one isn't. This is a 27. There's a 27 down here. This is a 35 blue Arcturus. There's another 35 under here, and then there's a 24A. The only thing I haven't put in is the rectifier tube because we're not going to do that yet. So if you recall, what we're going to do today is we're going to test filament and make sure the filament works. So we've got our buzz box. All right, this is our Buzz 1151 box that I copied from him from his design. We call it the buzz box, and there's his logo. And we're essentially going to plug the radio right in here, and we're going to put the power on through the variac, and we're going to see what happens when we turn it on. So that's going to be the plan. The only thing I have left to do here right now is just connect the speaker, because you never turn a radio on without a speaker, right? Especially these old ones. They weren't designed that way. They were designed to have a speaker attached. So I'm going to go into the chassis of the clock and get the speaker out of there, and we'll get that positioned and connected, and then we'll be ready to do our first test. So let me go get that going, and then we'll start to see some blue glow going on here. Looking forward to that. Alright, be back in a minute. Okay, the moment of truth has arrived. So I've taken out our speaker, and I've left it attached to the board that it was mounted on. That's where the grill cloth is. So I'm going to be replacing that grill cloth anyway. So there's no sense taking it off that board. I can protect the speaker. There is a little hole in the speaker I'm going to have to fix right there, but that's no problem. And I currently have it connected right here to the speaker jack. So I've got it propped up. I've got my buzz box here, and we're going to connect it up and see what happens. So I'll be right back. Okay, we have the variac connected. We've got our buzz box connected. We've got the radio connected. It's in the on position, and we're going to bring up power. It's on right now. I got the variac on 0. Bring up power. We're going to go up very slowly and see what happens. Now on the side of my buzz box, I do have an amp and a voltmeter, which you can't see, but let's see what happens. Okay, we're hot. I'm currently showing some voltage draw, but no amps. The bulb is not doing anything. I do see the dial light right there. That means I've got my 6.3 volts. Let's see if we get any filaments. There's probably not enough here. I'm only up at 55 volts right now. And there's really no amperage being drawn at all. Let's go up a little higher. And I'm starting to see filaments. I see it right there on that blue Arcturus tube. You gotta remember, these tubes are older, so they take longer. These are the 4-pin, 5-pin tubes, so they take longer to warm up. Let's go up to 75. See what we get. Okay, I still have a filament here. Let's see what else we got. I don't see anything else yet here. This is either going to be a success video or a blooper video. I think I see filament here. We're up to 90 volts. There's no amps being drawn at all. I'm not sure I'm seeing filament on those other tubes. Well, we haven't blown anything up, so let's go up to 100. Like I said, some of these other tubes are really old. I don't think they're as tolerant for low voltage. But I could be completely wrong, so don't take that to the bank. Remember what I said yesterday? I'm doing this real time with you guys. Okay, I do see a filament on that 24A. That appears to be alive. And I see a filament here on the 47. Let's go up to 110. Okay. I got a nice strong filament now on that 24A. The 35 is looking good. I don't see anything on those 27s. I had that problem when I was testing them also. It took a while for those things to light up. Alright, we're going to go full tilt up to 120. I have a 3 amp fuse in this thing, by the way. Let's see what happens here. Let me shut the lights. Okay, I do see my bulb here. It's got a little bit of a glow, so it's pulling some amperage now. It's minuscule though. Okay. I definitely have a filament here. I definitely have filament here. I've got filament here. I don't see anything on this one. Oh, this one just came on, so I have dirty sockets. So this Arcturus tube just came up. Okay, that one just came up. Oh, that one's got a flaky socket. There you go. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The only one that's not glowing is right here. And I believe she's coming up now. Let's turn this off for a minute. I want to reseat this tube. Okay, let's bring her up. I believe I have some dirty tube sockets here. And what I'll do is I'll get some pipe cleaners. Actually, I do have filament now on all the bulbs. Woohoo! And you'll see my my bulb here is perfect. No shorts. All right, good deal. So now we're gonna shut this down. I'm going to stop the video for a second. I'm going to connect the rectifier tube, and I'm going to put my meter on B+, and then we're going to see what that does. Be right back. Okay, we're ready to rock here. So I have my my meter connected to B+. One side goes to the 80 tube, one side is going over here to the ground. I've got my buzz box connected, and I've got my volume pot up, and I do have a knob on the tuning cap in case we are able to tune something. Let's see what happens. So, power in the hole. Okay, we're going to start bringing the vary up slowly. Hopefully you can see the meter. We're at 35 volts. We're at 50 volts. Here comes some B+. Okay, we're at 50 volts still. Just going to let that settle up a little bit. Okay, we're going to go up to 60 volts. Here it comes. Our dim bulb is looking real good. Okay. Let's go up to 70 volts. Alright, she's really taken off. I'm starting to see some filaments come on. That's good. We're at 60. Let's go to 80. So far so good. The bulb is very dim. That's good. We should be getting to a point where we start to hear some noise soon. Let's go up to 90. Okay, we're up to 180 volts. 190. 191. Our bulb looks good. Not hearing any noise yet. Let's check our filaments. Go up to 100. And we should start to be getting something now. We're at 230. I got my 27 tubes. Got filament there. Let me turn the lights off again. Okay. Let's see what we got cooking here. So we have filament on our 27s, our 35s. Our 24A does not have one, so we're going to need to jiggle that. Yeah, I just have some really dirty sockets here. Our 47s, not getting anything on there from a filament perspective that I see. I'm going to turn this off for a minute, and this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to exercise these tubes. I'm still getting flaky connection. And remember now, those caps underneath are charged, right? So we're going to take this tube out, and we're going to give it a good cleaning right here. Let's put that back in. We'll take this one out. I'm going to give it a cleaning. Like that. Put that back. Okay. Let's put the fire in the hole back in here. There's our meter. Let's see what happens. $273 volts. Okay, I'm seeing a glow now. There we go. Boy, these sockets are filthy. I'm going to have to use one. When I talk about dental scrubbers, this is what I'm talking about. It's one of these gum things. Powers off. It's going to go right inside that socket and just scrub away. Got a little bit of 90% alcohol in there. I'm going to allow that to dry. I apologize for a long video here, guys, but I'm trying to do this real time. Let's blow some air in there, dry it up. Okay. We're also going to do the same thing on our rectifier tube. I didn't see a good glow coming out of there, and I would have expected to see that, so we're going to clean these up as well. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's get that rectifier tube back in. Make sure it's seated correctly. And we're going to get this one back in. There we go. I may have to go underneath and bend some pins a little bit, but I'm not going to do that yet. I don't want to disturb that stuff. Okay. Let's bring up some power and see what happens. Okay, power's up. I'm going to go right to 60 volts. Our B plus is coming up. Interesting problem that I'm going to solve, and I'm going to share with you how I plan to solve it. So here's the issue. When I leave my rectifier tube out of the set, the 80 tube, all my filaments glow. When I put the 80 tube in the radio, all the filaments glow except for the 47s, these output tubes. Okay? So that's an interesting problem. You pull the 80 out, the filaments light. You put the 80 in, filaments don't light. So let's think about this logically, what could be the problem. So let's start here. So you'll see that the filaments are tied together on these 47s, right here. And they come down here, and there's an intersection point right here, which goes to, one side goes to that, that resistor that, if you recall, goes across the filaments of one. Got the mystery solved of why the tube filaments, the 47s, weren't lighting up, and I want to share it with you because, you know, some guys I think would be, I guess, hesitant to share when you do something stupid, but that's exactly what happened here. So I want to share what happened, and this way you all learn from it too. So as you recall, I was connecting this through the dim bulb tester, obviously, first power up, make sure that everything's working well. And it did. It was working well. But the problem is when you keep the radio connected through the dim bulb tester, you're basically starving the radio for voltage. So you know, that light bulb is lighting up, and you're not getting what you need in order to run the radio. So I took the radio, removed it from the dim bulb tester, plugged it into the Variac, and voila, all the bulbs light up. So we're gonna do a couple of things here. First, we're gonna turn it on. I did replace the 220 ohm and the 750 ohm resistors underneath with a 10 watt variety, so that's been completed. So we're going to turn it on, see if we get any sound. I don't think we're going to, because I didn't when I did my first test. And then we're going to check and see if the radio actually oscillates, if the oscillator is working. All right, let's turn it on first. Okay, so we've got our Variac Live. And let's turn the power switch on. Power switch is on. Now let's go up slowly. Make sure everything's working well. Okay, I see filament glow coming. Okay, we're up to 100 volts. I see filaments on the output tubes. I see filament on the rectifier. Okay, let's go up to 117. Right there. Our speaker's connected right here. Our volume is up, but there's no sound coming out. Okay? I do have a short wire antenna running on this thing. Now I assume I'm going to have to do an alignment. Okay? So let me stop the video here for a second and get an AM radio, and we're going to check to see if the oscillator is working. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my radio on, and I have this AM radio here. And what I'm going to test is if there's any oscillation. Right? That would be the first thing to see if this thing is capable of receiving a station. Right now it's on, and tuning has no effect. Right? I hear a little slight hum coming out of the speaker, which is normal. And I do have a loose antenna connected to the back. So let's turn this radio on. And we're going to go just off a station. There's a station right there. Just like that. Now I should hear oscillation if I turn this. And I don't. Let's try. Just move this a little bit somewhere else. So this thing's not oscillating. So that's the problem I have to solve now. This particular radio uses the 27 tube as an oscillator. I'll have to go underneath there and take a look around and see what's going on. I did check all the coils underneath, so all the coils are good. So I'm not worried about the coil. I have to look and see if there's something miswired on these 27 tubes or something else. But that's kind of where I am. You can see the blue tubes here. I mean, they really don't glow too much. This one has a filament right there you could see, but that's what the blue tubes look like. So just to recap where we are, this radio has two 27 tubes. One is here, and one is here. Okay, and I'm going to start taking a look and seeing if all these are connected correctly, and then we'll go from there. All right. So I'll be back. All right. So let me describe for you how I'm going to troubleshoot this radio. So if you look at a common radio such as this one, you'll see that the signal basically follows a path. It comes in through the antenna, goes through the RF stage, goes to the first detector and the oscillator, goes through the IF amp, then goes to the second stage, which is your first audio stage, and then goes to your output to the speaker. Okay? So the way we're going to troubleshoot this is we're going to connect a signal generator to the antenna. Okay? Be right back. Sorry about that. So we're going to attach a signal generator to the antenna, and we're going to check the plate of each stage using a signal tracer. And we're going to see exactly where I get the signal. So theoretically, if I go to the plate of the 35 with a signal generator and I put the probe on the plate, I should hear the tone. We're then going to move to the next stage, the first detector and the oscillator. If I hear a tone there, then we're going to go to the IF amp, and so on and so forth. And we should be able to isolate where the signal's dying. And it'll help us to actually pinpoint it. So let me get that all set up, and I'll show you what that's all about. Just to show you our little map here, based on the bottom of the amp, this is the RF. This is the oscillator and the first detector. This is your IF amp. This is your second detector, and here's your output. So that's the path we're going to go. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay? Be right back. Okay, we've got a signal generator connected to the antenna. We're going to test it. Okay, that's going there. Now if you follow the schematic, it goes from the antenna to the volume pot. There it is. And I should be able to go up to the plate of the first RF point and get the signal. Let's do it. Interesting. If I go to the cathode, I get it. So it's going into the cathode, but it's not coming out the plate. So that means one of our grids is probably not working correctly. So if I look at this tube, it's going to be, let's see, likely pin 3. I'm going to get a little flashlight there so I don't short anything out here. Now there's a resistor that goes between the cathode and the grid, and it's a 15K resistor, right? So when I touch the cathode, I'm good. When it goes through the resistor and it goes to the grid, I'm getting the hum, but I'm also getting a little bit of the signal. So I'm introducing a hum right here. Right there it's clean. Right there I've got a hum. If I go over to the second grid, it's all hum, and the plate gets louder. So I've been able to prove that the issue is clearly in our RF stage, right at the beginning. That's why nothing's coming through the radio. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in here and look around and see if I've got everything wired correctly. Okay? I'll be back. By the way, I'm using the old trusty ICO. There it is. I'm sure you all recognize that. Alright, let me go do that. Be back.